Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're really drilling down into something quite specific and honestly strategically brilliant happening in Kenya.
Mm,
It's this systematic effort to empower grassroots leaders. We're talking about local women, often the unsung heroes in their communities.
absolutely. And the focus today is squarely on Njeri Kiereini and her work.
Right, through the United Women's Council, UWC, and its operational arm, the Forgotten Bottom Millions, or 4BM.
Yeah.
We've got a good set of sources detailing her path, the structure, the blueprint they use. So our mission here is to, get beyond the buzzwords
Right.
and really unpack the practical step-by-step strategies. How do they actually elevate these women, the Forgotten Bottom Millions, from being community anchors to, powerful national voices?
And what jumps out immediately from the sources is that this isn't just about, like, helping people. It's strategic. It's political architecture, really.
Okay.
These women, these grassroots changemakers, they have the leadership qualities inherently,
Mm-hmm.
but they operate in what the sources call a shadow system.
A shadow system.
Yeah, meaning they face structural invisibility.
Yeah.
Outside their local patch, they practically vanish.
Yeah.
Then there's financial exclusion, the bolted cash doors, as it's put.
Right.
And crucially, stigma. Stigma that just minimizes the vital work they're doing day in, day out.
So this whole effort, UWC and 4BM, it's
Sure.
designed as a direct counter to that.
Exactly. It's about converting that raw, innate community courage,
Right.
that leadership, into what you could call applied influence.
Applied influence.
Influence that's legible, that's unavoidable
Yeah.
at the county and even national levels. It's a very deliberate exercise in strategic packaging, you could say.
Mhm.
Political elevation.
Okay, let's unpack that because, the starting point, the origin story, it always shapes the strategy, doesn't it?
It does.
Kiereini's background is, it's fascinating. She wasn't exactly born into grassroots activism. Her early career was quite high-level policy analysis.
That's right. At the Results for Africa Institute, she was working with major policy players. But at the same time, she was observing the immense structural power of organizations like Maendeleo ya Wanawake, these huge women's groups.
So she saw both sides, the policy and the power on the ground.
Precisely. She had this front row seat, seeing women who were, as the source says, facing walls of barriers, yet just pouring everything into their communities.
Oh.
So she got the policy toolkit, definitely. But she also gained this profound insight that, the solutions were often already there on the ground. They just weren't supported.
And that tension, that gap between high policy and ground reality, that seems to lead to these two really pivotal moments the sources highlight.
Yes, the ones that really crystallized the mission for her.
First, there's the 2020 storm. That's what they call her volunteer work at Prison Fellowship Kenya.
Yeah, and that experience seems to have fundamentally shifted her perspective. It wasn't just about the incarcerated person. No, she saw that the injustice, the stigma, it didn't stop at the prison gates. It would, in her words, scar whole villages. It crushed the families left behind. She saw this deep, unaddressed community trauma.
That's heavy. And then came 2022, the election chaos.
Right, the division, the instability that followed.
Yeah.
That was the final push, it seemed.
A catalyst.
Exactly. She recognized that healing and stabilizing meant creating these safe, neutral spaces. Spaces where people hungry to lead, especially women, could reclaim their power without getting sucked into partisan fights.
Which leads directly to the Miss President show, right? Judging that wasn't just a side gig for her.
Not at all. It was a revelation, according to the sources. Seeing all that leadership potential on display season after season, it made her realize this potential wasn't some rare thing. It was, quote, the overlooked fire in all of us.
I like that phrase.
Me too.
Yeah.
And it apparently compelled her to stop just looking for leaders and start actually building the mechanism to support the ones already there.
And boom, UWC launches right after that.
Immediately afterwards, yeah.
So the United Women's Council is born, but let's talk structure, because it sounds like it's designed very intentionally to counteract that burnout, that trauma she saw earlier.
Absolutely. It's described as a warm circle. And yes, it focuses on professional skills, leadership, entrepreneurship, the usual suspects. But crucially, it goes deeper, layers deeper.
Oh, so.
This is where that strategic thinking about sustainability really comes in. Why do grassroots leaders often fizzle out or fail to scale up?
The burden, the personal cost.
Exactly. The personal burden is immense. So the UWC focuses not just on, say, money smarts and professional development, but also on personal growth and, critically, soul care wellness.
Soul care wellness. Well, that sounds a bit unusual for a political empowerment organization, doesn't it? Why dedicate resources there?
Because, and the sources really emphasize this, the goal is full-hearted lift, not half measures.
Okay.
Think about it. If you just give someone a professional toolkit, but completely ignore the emotional drain, the sheer exhaustion of constant community service, they're likely to fail or burn out.
Right. Makes sense.
So they're tending to the whole person, mental, spiritual, financial, professional. The idea is half measures fade, full-hearted lift. That's the forever kind.
Wow.
They're investing in that inner resilience needed for sustainable leadership, which, let's be honest, is often totally overlooked in standard development programs.
Okay, so that holistic approach builds the resilience. Now, let's pivot to the engine connecting this across the country. The Forgotten Bottom Millions, 4BM.
It's a strategic engine, yeah.
It's called the unbreakable glue, linking women across all 47 Kenyan counties and the diaspora. I mean, you're talking about coordinating potentially thousands of these community anchors. That's huge.
The scale is staggering, logistically. To manage that kind of connectivity, that kind of impact across 47 very diverse counties, you absolutely need a streamlined framework.
And something focused, right?
Yes, and specifically youth-focused, which is key here. And that's what 4BM provides. It's the operating system, if you will, for UWC's national reach. It ensures those local truths don't just stay local.
Let's break down those 4BM pillars then, because they seem to show exactly how the mission turns into action, especially, as you said, through empowering youth. The strategy clearly sees youth mobilization as vital.
Paramount, yeah. Youth are the engine, we all know that.
Yeah.
But they need structure. They need verified information to participate constructively, not just, reactively.
Okay, so the first pillar seem focused on information. The sources detail 4BM Share and 4BM Connect.
That's right.
Share is about getting relevant info out there, but from trusted sources, specifically for civic conversations that affect young people directly. And Connect links them with verified opportunities, jobs, scholarships, business training, even reading materials.
And notice the emphasis there.
Yeah.
Trusted and verified. That's critical.
Why so critical?
Well, in today's world, saturated with misinformation, building that foundational trust is everything. They're not just spraying out general news. They're providing concrete pathways.
Pathways out of inertia.
Exactly. Linking policy relevance through Share directly to tangible economic opportunity through Connect. That's how you empower real civic dialogue, not just noise.
Okay, that makes sense. And the second pair of pillars turns that knowledge into action. 4BM Mobilize and 4BM Develop.
Precisely. Mobilize is the participation arm, getting youth involved in sustainable socioeconomic programs locally and regionally. It's the boots-on-the-ground piece.
Got it.
Then you have Develop. This is about cultivating the social role models, the leaders, the admins within the structure, who then influence other young people to contribute constructively.
So it closes the loop. The leadership skills from UWC get applied in 4BM to mentor the next wave.
You got it. It connects everything.
What really stands out here is how this whole operational structure gives immediate credibility to the grassroots leaders themselves.
Yes, that's the strategic payoff.
They're not just, running a small local meeting anymore. They're suddenly administrators in a national multi-county program focused on youth development.
That structure itself delivers what you might call a credibility bomb, a visibility surge.
A credibility bomb. I like it.
By being administrators within a national framework like 4BM, they're essentially hauling those grassroots truths straight onto bigger stages, straight to national microphones.
Yep.
They get the packaging and the platform.
The professional architecture.
The professional architecture needed to move beyond just being seen as a local volunteer, however dedicated.
Okay, this is where it gets really interesting for me, the toolkit. How does Njeri Kiereini actually manage to flip her high-level experience? The policy hustle from Results for Africa, the creative storytelling from ThinkTube Africa. How does she translate that directly to the grassroots level?
Well, she clearly understood a key thing. Policy and media aren't just tools for the elite, or they shouldn't be.
Right.
If a leader on the ground has done incredible work, absolutely phenomenal stuff, but they lack a professional portfolio.
Yeah.
They just look amateur on the national stage. It sounds harsh, but it's true.
They get overlooked.
Totally. The sources say they're hauling the load of local miracles, yet vanish outside their zip code. So the strategic intervention is about professionalizing their image and their voice.
Okay, so what are the concrete steps? The sources list some very specific actions, don't they, to change that narrative from local volunteer to recognized expert.
It starts with basics, but professional basics. They get high-quality professional headshots. Photos that, as the source says, capture their fire.
Not just a snapshot.
No, definitely not. Then, their personal stories, their journeys, are meticulously crafted into bios that sing their truths. This is basically professional marketing, but used for civic good.
And beyond the visuals, there's the public speaking aspect, too.
Oh, absolutely. They receive intensive coaching, how to grip the mic at county meets, how to crackle over radio, how to command national ears.
Wow, think about the strategic impact of that.
Exactly. When a local leader walks into a county meeting and they've got the professional photo, the polished bio, and they can articulate their community's issues with the clarity of a national policy analyst.
They're instantly taken more seriously.
Instantly. It's using professional branding as a tool for political empowerment. It elevates the whole conversation from just pleading for resources to making strategic policy demands.
But isn't there a risk there? By professionalizing the image so much, do you risk, I don't know, sanitizing the raw grassroots authenticity that makes them powerful in the first place?
That's a fair question. And maybe that's where the big recognition events come in, like the Celebrating Women Awards they held in 2023. These aren't just about handing out trophies. They seem like really carefully orchestrated exercises in validation, in dignity.
How so?
Well, the sources make a point of saying these events are entirely paid for. Full accommodation, professional makeup, photography. These women are treated like dignitaries, honored.
That's significant.
And there's another telling detail. Participants are apparently restricted from posting paid products or services outside of designated times, something called Cairo Friday.
Interesting. What does that suggest?
It suggests the focus is squarely on validation, on network building, on celebrating the work itself, not on turning it into some kind of commercial marketplace. It's about dignifying the service.
And when a community sees its leader being cheered, profiled, respected nationally,
that recognition flings open gates to what's next for her work. It ripples back home.
it's that recognition doing its holy work, as one source puts it, fanning that born-with-it courage.
Yeah, giving them permission almost to own their power fully.
So let's talk ripples. What does this whole network, this resilience, this credibility mean for the wider communities these women serve? The philosophy is described as pure community pulse. What does that mean in practice?
It means the resources they focus on are, well, roots deep. Okay. This isn't just about chasing big loans or massive grants necessarily. Okay. It's more about linking people to practical finance flows. Things like actively cheerleading, saving circles, supporting tiny hustles, small local businesses.
Grassroots economics.
Exactly. Focusing on resources that knit tighter families and hoods. It's about combining those business seeds with, remember, the wellness breaths, the leadership sparks. It's an investment in overall community stability, not just individual wealth accumulation.
And the proof. Does this integrated, holistic strategy actually work? What are the tangible results the sources point to?
The impact reports sound pretty compelling. Participants don't just leave with new skills. They return home transformed, seen as symbols of pride and possibility.
Role models.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Younger girls see them and suddenly aspire to follow that path. Communities rally behind them. And maybe the most powerful indicator of actual political success.
Yes.
County officials begin to involve them in decision-making.
Moving from the periphery, from asking to being in the table where decisions are made.
That's the goal, isn't it? That's the whole point.
Absolutely.
And the future vision seems to be about building on exactly that political influence. The next phase is described as creating a buzzing overlap.
An overlap between what?
Syncing Kiereini's own policy expertise and her creative training background with the energy of the Celebrating Women Network.
How would that look?
They mention concrete examples, things like countywide mentorship jams, high-impact digital campaigns, and special huddles designed to blend sharp business brains with what they call feel-it-deep smarts and healing holds.
Feel-it-deep smarts and healing holds.
Yeah, it's about systematically integrating that emotional, financial, and political capital, making it a permanent part of the community ecosystem, not just a one-off project.
That is. Well, it's an immense operation, a true blueprint for structural change, spanning all 47 counties, the diaspora. It's impressive.
And driven by that core belief highlighted in the sources, our struggles and victories as women are interconnected. That seems foundational.
It really does. Okay, so wrapping this up, we've seen Njeri Kiereini's work relies on these two really distinct strategic resources, haven't we?
Yeah, you could say that.
On the one hand, there's the high-level professional toolkit, the policy knowledge, the branding savvy, the systems architecture of 4BM. Very structured.
Right, the external framework.
And on the other hand, there's this deep focus on inner steel and sway, the soul care wellness.
Yeah.
Tapping into that inherent grassroots courage, building community buy-in.
The internal resilience.
Exactly. So here's a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. To create truly permanent social change, the kind that actually results in decision-making power shifting at the county level, which resource ultimately holds the most powerful leverage in the long run?
Is it the sophisticated political mechanism, the toolkit?
Or is it that profound inner resilience, the community solidarity, the feel-it-deep smarts? Where does the real lasting power lie? Something to think about.